I'm going to speak on a subject that I'm not ready to speak on, but I want to plant the seed, and that's the individual. In our country, we actually have an individual which isn't totally lost yet, but we're getting that way. We have industrialized schools. You have children feeling lesser than the other student. If you get an A+ and you get an F, you're diminished somehow, even though that person may be left-brained. I had a friend that was a lawyer, and he memorized well. It was good for his profession. He learned languages. But that doesn't mean I'm ambidextrous. He was left-handed. I did two things, which it caused problems at times. You know, both hands are working independently of each other, and things happen. But to me, I don't know if it's communism, but it seems that way. My dad said, if communists, he hates communism, and he says and he went to William and Mary, and he said when it comes in our country, the first thing that goes, they kill the artists. And I look at our school systems, and I think because not that they're meaning to be communism, but because of the population expansion in the past century, we've lost what the arts are. They're individual. Arts are individual, and you can do community arts where people work together and put on a production, say Shakespeare, but you have to individually become strong to partake in that. And so when I look at our school systems and everybody's made to sit in a seat a certain amount of time, and that doesn't work for every student, that in some senses we're going to have to tailor our school systems to the individual instead of industrialized, and take into account the individual's gifts. And that's why it's awesome, beautiful, creative, delightful, and fantastic, because I don't want anybody demeaned that gets on that school bus in the morning to come to school. I don't want them to feel lesser than because they may not be a genius in mathematics, or maybe, they try drawing and painting, but they just don't enjoy it, I want all the arts and the music, dance, and I want philosophy back in our schools. You can, if it's good philosophy, you can simplify it for even children as young as 5 to make sense of Epicurus, the good life. And then the beauty of it is the discussions of philosophy as they happen as you live your life, that you can refer to them and say, oh, is that a maxim of Kant? And you'll have a base and grounding of deciding the conference of deciding what is good for the environment. What is the maxim? And when you're head of that company, because you were good at working with people in schools, and that's something you're good at. You may not be the woodworker. You may not be the handmade woodworker that built your wardrobe. But in the future, we're going to get rid of these toxic plastics. I can just see that coming. Not as fast as I would like, but we're going to stop with the maxim all over this world. And, people are seeing it now, and they're like, we can't put toxicity into. They used to put lead on their faces. That's how this is going to be. Queen Elizabeth had lead and mercury on her face. And we're going to be like, oh gosh, we just can't buy that. We can't make it. And if a country does not have that kind of philosophy, well, we need to help and introduce it, not in a threatening way, but just in a helpful way, that all of our world, I don't care what country you're from. If you're from North Korea, it's still it's a gestalt, it's all of our world, and any kind of warfare or poverty affects us. So that's enough for today, I think, but we're gestalt, and philosophy and the blossom of arts and philosophy, that's what we have our STEM for. The beauty of mathematics and the genius, when it comes to a genius level mathematics, it's beautiful. And then the leaves are the sports, the athletics that people like to do at certain times becomes an art. You have Nadia Comaneci. Her sitting at a screen all day is not going to make her a world-class athlete. You got to get out and do the empirical. And the roots are what I say, children know what they like. Let them try it. Let them do that. Some of it's genetics, some of it's environment. I feel bad for the poor children because some of them don't get the opportunity to be on swim teams, so they don't know if they can swim or like it. And I just feel like in any kind of society in the United States, we could at least offer swimming. And then when our soldiers go to foreign countries, we could perhaps have a Peace Corps of younger kids. To me, a 17 through a 21-year-old, they're babies, and they could go and help. We spend a lot of money on their education, a lot more money than in Ethiopia, and we could go there and we could use their education that we've instilled in our very expensive, even though not perfect, but getting better education system, and we could help the people that are willing to sit and maybe look at a drive-through screen and start them into a better life, because education affords that, the ability to learn things and have the military protect them. And I know you have to talk to Dave Matthews about his preschool ideas, but, to each his own. Thank you.